Hello everyone, we are here to explain one of the models in software development lifecycle, which is the evolutionary model. First, what is the evolutionary model? Second, why do we need to use the evolutionary model? And last, advantage and disadvantage of evolutionary model. And now, what is evolutionary model? Evolutionary model is also referred to as the successive versions model. Feedback is provided by the users on the product for the planning stage of the next cycles, and the development teams responds often by changing the product plan or process. Therefore, the software product evolves with time. A combination of iterative and incremental model of software development lifecycle. The evolutionary development models divides the development cycle into smaller, incremental waterfall models, in which users are able to get access to the product at the end of each cycle and can give feedback. The development first develops the core modules of the system. The core modules are those that do not need services from the other modules. The initial product skeleton is refined into increasing levels of capability by adding new functionalities in successive versions. We can relate this to the library management system, and this table represents the core modules of library management system. A. Student modules. B. Admin modules. C. Books module. They enable the software developer to develop increasingly more complex versions of the software.
And now we learned about the meaning of evolutionary model. Next is I'll be discussing why and when to use evolutionary model. Evolutionary model is normally useful for very large products where it's easier to find modules for incremental implementation. It is used in large projects where you can easily find modules for incremental implementation. If customer wants to start using the core features instead of waiting for the full software. The requirements of the system are clearly defined and understood. When there are some high-risk features and goals will be involved and may change in the future. A new technology is being used and is being learned by the development team while working on the project.
We finally know when and why do we need to know the model, but you all know that all things have their pros and cons. Here are the list of pros and cons of the evolutionary model. First in the list is user satisfaction. User gets satisfied and he gets the full chance of experimenting partially developed system. Second is error reduction. As the version is created with customers, it reduces the error because the core modules get tested truly. Third is high quality. As you should get satisfied with every version, it produces the high quality product. And lastly, low risk. There is significant reduction of risk as a version is implemented. These risks may be associated with 1. Missing schedule deadline, 2. Wrong feature sets, and 3. Poor quality. On the contrary of that, the cons are: first is dividing software. Sometimes, it is hard to divide the problem into several versions that will be acceptable to the customer, which can be incrementally implemented and delivered. Time and cost. As this model reduces time and cost, but the requirement is not gathered correctly, it will subsequently time, cost, and effort. Uncertain nature of customer needs. A confused user has uncertainty over his requirements, so giving him several versions may change his requirement rapidly. Several version release. Developer has to make stable version, which increases their effort. Last of the cons is confusion by several versions. A user might get confused by several versions of the software. It will affect the final product. After we talk about the meaning of evolutionary model, when to use, and advantage and disadvantage of this model, we reckon that in essence, it consists of a sequence of successive versions of a product evolving over time, with feedback from initial version into later versions. Inside each version cycle, we see in the small system engineering activities embedded.